shorts, I like to focus on doing longs. And so I've just been finding good entries when we do move down, and I've been locking those in. And then I just kind of scalp the profits off on the way up. And so that's been working really good for me. It's been kind of like swing trading, I would say. So I hold these positions for a decent amount of time, but as long as you can find those entries, you're going to be pretty good. It's just like the shorting that gets kind of, gets people wrecked sometimes in the bull market. So I try to avoid those. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when it comes to shorting, people think they're more clever than they probably are.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's better to just be a bull and long on spot than a clever bear. And clever bears usually get chopped.
Yeah.
It's from what I know,
Yeah. I have a lot more success doing shorts in bear markets. Like once, the liquidity cycle kind of ends and things are looking, a little bit more bearish, then I start looking to do shorts. But during the next 6-12 months, I'm probably not going to be shorting too much at all. I'm just going to be going long when I can and then just taking profits and waiting for the next move to happen again.
Excellent. I mean, you may have potentially answered the next question, but if you had to bet dinner on it,
yeah,
XRP up or down before the end of the year?
I think we're going to be up for sure from where we are right now. We just had a pretty good correction on XRP. Like XRP went down to $2.67. It rebounded back up to around 290-ish. Came back down a little bit. We're trading somewhere around 280 right now. Generally, when we're at these levels, we bounce up pretty well. And we just saw the Fed, they cut rates. And so generally it takes about 3 months for that liquidity to come into the markets. And so if I had to guess, I'd say November, December, we're going to be quite a bit higher than where we are right now. And I'm pretty confident on that. I do think that XRP could actually hit a new all-time high before the end of the year.
It's looking good. I mean, XRP still has one of the strongest communities. And I know you're a huge proponent. How does the community feel from your angle, right? From your place in the market? Because I think, I've seen a lot of your content and you're definitely one of the forefront in that bullish market. How do you feel? How's the community looking? Where is that going at the moment,
Yeah, it's a mix. I would say about 80% of people are pretty positive, but then there are certain people that are getting a little bit tired of the sideways market.
Yeah.
Right? We've seen, Ethereum go for a nice run, and then a lot of people in the XRP community, they see that and they're like, oh, why isn't XRP breaking new all-time highs right now too? But it's just very cyclical, right? We see Bitcoin move, we see Ethereum move, we see XRP move, and so yeah, I think overall people they're pretty excited and they're just kind of waiting for that next move to happen.
That next move.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Well, let me give you another bit of a spicier question, right? Like I said, the last couple of months have been a bit choppy. What's the riskiest trade you've taken, win or loss, in the last couple of months?
Yeah, so this one was pretty funny. This trade was literally a gamble. So what I did is I went to a casino with a couple of my friends, and they were playing blackjack, right? And I said, so as you guys are doing this, I'm just going to open up a random 100x leverage trade just for fun.
No way.
And while you're playing this hand, I'm just going to bet every single time. And so I did that a few times. It's just 50-50, win, lose, win, lose. I wasn't risking a massive amount, but that's definitely the riskiest thing that I did. And it was just for fun. Sometimes I just do that for fun. But 99% of what I do is super calculated, finding the best possible entry, which I've been waiting for weeks sometimes, and then just riding that wave. But yeah, that.
Wait, let's just start. So that trade.
Yeah.
How much did you make out of interest?
Yeah, so I placed 4 trades. 2 of them got liquidated. 2 of them I closed in profit. I think came out of it maybe a couple $1,000s in profit once everything was said and done. Which is great for a little casino, have fun, gamble.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought that'd be a fun way to gamble while my friends were gambling, with the 100x.
One hell of a way to do it. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Listen, I obviously follow you on Twitter. I think it's obviously being live streamed there as well. Now, what's your take on crypto Twitter? Do you think there's potentially any signals that you can get on crypto Twitter, or is it better to just be looking at the on-chain sleuths on chain all day? What's some of the sentiments you follow?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think if you follow a lot as to what the Fed is talking about, and you look more so at the global macroeconomic picture, as opposed to focusing really in on what specific things are doing, maybe what XRP is doing on the day-to-day, you're gonna find a lot more success. At least I have personally, and people in my audience who follow me find a lot of success that way. And so I would say there are a number of different news sources that can give you really valuable information about on-chain metrics, liquidation zones, and things like that. And that's the sort of information that I grab. I look at the news on a broad scale, has the Fed cut rates? Okay, I know 20 out of the last 20 times the Fed cut rates, with the S&P 500 being within a certain margin of all-time highs, we have closed higher. That's a 100% success rate. And so knowing that, I'm very confident that we're going to be moving up long-term. So what I do in the short term is all based around how many longs are currently open on the market, how many shorts are currently open on the market, and what are like these institutions and whales trying to do to liquidate these guys. And that's where you find success, because a lot of these big players in the space, that's how they make money.
Yeah.
That's just what they do.
Yeah.
They see like, okay, this is a small cap crypto or whatever. I can liquidate all these longs. It'll push the price to this level.
There is sadly like a lot of manipulation, I think, that we see in these markets. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to connect the two, but speaking of manipulation, Trump has been in okay, this has gone the wrong way. I'm a supporter of Trump, but we're in I would say in a very relaxed environment because of Trump coming into the market. Like, how do you think that's going to play out for the next 3 to 4 years? Do you think it's going to be like a free for all, or do you think there's going to be like a big ban hammer if and when after his term ends? What do you think that's going to mean for us?
After Trump, it's hard to say for sure, but I know like during Trump's presidency, the markets are going to be extra volatile, because what Trump loves to do is he loves to make statements that will impact the world in whatever way, and sometimes that's negative, sometimes that's positive. And like a lot, like I think the things happening with Jerome Powell is a great example. Like for the last like 12 months, almost every single month, he's been harping Jerome Powell to cut rates. Like, you got to do this. He's like calling him too late Powell. He's calling him an idiot and all this kind of stuff. He's very inflammatory, and that does impact the markets. We saw that with tariffs. When he announced tariffs, it was like a massive crypto-wide crash. But then we had a V-shaped recovery right after.
Yeah.
So it's just about finding those crash opportunities when everyone's panicking and losing their minds because Trump made some crazy inflammatory statement. It's an opportunity. It really is. And a lot of people, they don't see that because, you know, they're too focused on the red, but every red day is an opportunity. And that's the mentality you have to have.
Yeah. I also think when we look at, you know, the Trump coin being released and then World Liberty Finance also being released, we have these like the Trump family being essentially at the forefront of releasing coins and releasing alpha to a lot of people in the public. Now, a lot of people may have been burned, but you know that opens up the possibility that a lot more people are going to want happy to trade and get access to these kind of trades, etc. So it's integrating it more into the at least the US culture than I would say the European. So it's some exciting times, you know.
Yeah, it is only going to grow from here. Like I think like the EU, they're going to realize how banks are profiting from like these stablecoin models, and they're going to be like we literally cannot afford not to do this. And so eventually they're going to do it. But it's unfortunate that the EU is a little bit slower in that regard, because you look at all of these countries like Singapore or like Dubai that are really embracing crypto culture, and they're absolutely flourishing. They're growing at such an amazing fast rate. And so, you know, I'd love to see the EU actually, you know, do that more, because I'm a European by blood, you know, that's where I come from. But I'm not going to hold my breath, you know, like I'm gonna go where the people are that are doing the right things, and
where the money flows,
exactly.
you find rewards, right?
That's right.
Yeah, it's a shame that Europe has become so aggressive in that regard.
Yeah.
The last one, it would be completely wrong of me to not answer. Bitcoin, end of year prediction. What do we think?
I think much like XRP, Bitcoin will definitely be closing higher by the end of the year. How high that's going to be is anyone's guess, but I would say like with the Fed continuing to cut rates, I wouldn't be surprised for Bitcoin to hit a new all-time high before the end of the year as well. And it might take a little bit longer, like it might be Q1 of 2026, but either way, like I'm just going to prepare for that, because I have a really strong inclination based off of what I'm seeing that it's going to happen anytime in the next like 4 to 5 months. And so, yeah, just getting ready for that.
Are you holding more Bitcoin or XRP?
Oh, XRP for sure.
Yeah, there he is.
But I do have a lot of Bitcoin too. Bitcoin is great. It's a great store of value, and I do think that it's going to continue to grow. It's going to be the number one in terms of like just overall like market cap growth from like a raw number perspective. And so I think it's a mistake to go all in on any crypto. Like Bitcoin's amazing, XRP's amazing. Never go all in one basket, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Anything can happen in crypto. It's crazy Wild West. So
keep your eggs in many different baskets.
Exactly.
Aim of the game. My friend, so fucking good to see you again.
You as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Guys, thank you so much. I will see you on the next one.
Nice. Let's go.
We're done.
I was stuck at the people. I just came to make video. Have you doing an interview?